a bonus episode, midweek, late night. I'm tired. It's the franchise after dark. I'm your host.
It is the franchise after dark on a bonus episode number 4 or 5. I don't know how many we've had, but it is after dark. We're both tired. My co-host right here is
the D-Train, Daniel Ehrenberg.
Okay, he didn't introduce me. He's supposed to say, and my host here is...
Yeah, to my left. Who is this?
Right, exactly, right. To my north, about 95 miles, is Daniel Ehrenberg.
Then there's Henry Papali over there. Yeah. We're talking about a Bond movie, the last one for a little while. We're taking a break. Right. And it's Lazenby. We're going to fill in the blank between, what were they? You Only Live Twice and Diamonds Are Forever?
That's right.
So this week we're talking about Honor Majesty's Secret Service with Mr. George Lazenby, his only outing as James Bond. You know him from all his classic movies. I mean... Have you ever seen Lazenby in anything else?
Nope.
I used to watch Jim Jeffries' show on FX.
Oh, I love that fucking guy.
His
stand-up's hilarious.
His stand-up's great, but he had a really good FX show called Legit.
Yes.
And
yes.
George Lazenby had a recurring role. I think it's his dad, if I remember right.
Oh, well, that makes sense. He's Australian.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right.
But Lazenby fucked his own career over by acting like a dick on the set of Honor Majesty's Secret Service. And,
I want to hear more about that later because I didn't really get that impression as much as his agent was also a fucking idiot.
That's part of it. Lots of stuff working against this fella.
Yeah, yes.
But I think he's prime Bond, baby. And we're going to talk about this movie, which... for a long time was my favorite Bond movie
of all time.
Yeah, it was it was my number one favorite Bond movie until we were living together, Henry, and I rewatched Casino Royale.
Okay.
And I was like, nah, this is the one.
Oh, all right. So wow, so that had a long shelf life. Okay.
Yeah, this was my baby.
All right, I get it. Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I've seen this one more times than the other. I think I've seen Goldfinger more than this, but I'd watched this a few times in my day.
I clearly had only seen this all the way through once. That was very evident to me when I saw it. When I was watching it, I recognized certain segments, but it was not like watching it fresh, but it was pretty close.
Exciting stuff. Well, let's talk about it, baby.
Let's talk about this Archer cartoon.
Are you going to be talking shit about this movie?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know how you feel about Archer.
Are you going to be talking only great things?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get this off the bat right away.
I think I know what you're going to say.
2 hours and 20 minutes.
Holy shit.
Get out of here.
Speaking of Casino Royale, you saw it was the longest movie until then.
They both feel too long.
Nah, Casino Royale's kicking all kinds of ass on all 4 cylinders, man. I don't know.
All 4 cylinders?
6 cylinders.
What are they? What are the 6?
I don't know. Tweet us at how many cylinders can a car have?
Don't tweet me. Fucking email Henry with that shit.
Email Henry. How many cars can a cylinder have?
How many cars can a cylinder have? It's a great question. Honor Majesty's Secrets. It's late, gang. It's late. I've already watched tonight's episode of Survivor for my Surviving Survivor peeps. Great merge episode. But
looking forward to that. I am currently missing the Americans, so that's
No, you're
cool.
not. Not for another 10 minutes.
Right.
We have a new director.
We do. The great Peter Hunt.
Peter Hunt, who had edited the previous Bond movies. He's taken the reins over there in the director's chair. And his whole idea for On Her Majesty's Secret Service was, let's do a straight Ian Fleming adaptation.
Yeah.
So this
pretty
is
much.
and
it should be said he edited all the Bonds before this.
Yeah, I said that.
All of them. Yeah, well, I didn't know he did all of them. He only lived twice, second unit director, so that probably contributed to this.
He could have chopped a few minutes off a Thunderball, I'll tell you that much.
I'll tell you that too.
But
and some cuts here and there. Yeah, go ahead.
But Hunt, Peter R. Hunt. It's a great name.
Full title.
Full title. He took the reins here. He wants to do like a very faithful adaptation of an Ian Fleming novel. Reportedly, according to Wikipedia, he walked around the set with like a footnoted copy of the Ian Fleming novel.
Yeah, it's a douche move.
It's a weird thing to do. Yeah, I bet you don't see that a lot in Hollywood.
No, I've heard of it being done, but yeah.
You see it on like the stage.
Right. Or with something that's extraordinarily literary, like if they're filming like a Thomas Hardy novel, you figure like, well, I'm going to get this part right, but fucking...
Thomas Hardy novel. How many of those have been adapted?
A few, right? Jude, Tess of the Durbers.
Has anyone done Return of the Native?
I don't... Boy, that sounds like someone has.
Let's get Tom Hardy in there.
I'm Tom Hardy for Thomas Hardy. I'm a big Thomas Hardy poetry fan. He's probably one of my top 5 favorite poets.
I bet, because you're like a manly guy. Thomas Hardy seems like one of those guys that would like go fishing and write poetry out there on the boat.
He writes a lot of stuff about atheism and death. And women.
He's hard liver.
He's great. Yeah.
Richard Maybaum's back to adapt this book.
Sure.
He wrote a bunch of the first, right? How many?
Oh, boy, I don't know. A great deal of them.
All of them, the first 4, I think, right? Because then Roald Dahl showed up.
That's right. Yeah.
This movie was released December 18th, 1969, Christmas release, and it does take place around Christmas, so that's going to be my new line, Henry. On Her Majesty's Secret Service is my favorite Christmas movie.
All right. I can see that. There's no carols in it, but there's very Christmassy stuff happening there.
They open presents by the tree, those 12 sexy ladies of varying nationalities.
The Angels of Death.
Yeah.
I'll have you know, when I did my exhaustive fucking superhero count for this movie, I went through every one of those women.
I'm happy to hear it. I was excited to see an extraordinarily young Joanna Lumley from Absolutely Fabulous.
I only knew that when I did the research. I didn't recognize her at all.
Yeah. Excited.
Are you a fan of that show?
Love that show. I've seen every app. I never saw that movie. They did a reunion movie a few years ago. Haven't seen that, baby, but Ab Fab. Love it. I have the first couple seasons on DVD somewhere.
All right.
Yep. Hank, this was came in at a budget of $7 million. And had a box office of $82 million. It should be noted it was pretty much all but a failure in America.
Financially?
Financially.
Okay.
But it was still huge overseas. But, $82 million, You Only Live Twice had done 111.6. So that's a fairly significant drop for the day.
I guess it is. It looked to me like it was still a success.
Success everywhere but America, where it only made like $20 million or something, and it came in at number 10 at the box office for the year.
Well, that's still something.
Yeah,
top
but
10.
listen to what beat it, man. Let's do that list. Here are the top 10 highest grossers of 1969. Do you have any guesses?
Butch Cassidy.
Yeah, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was quite a phenomenon that year. That came in at number 1. I think it made like $140 million or some shit.
Look at me go.
Yeah.
All right. The Wild Bunch?
Wild Bunch did not sneak in. Maybe a little too violent for the regular people.
Maybe a little too boring.
It's a great movie.
No, I disagree. Midnight Cowboy?
Midnight Cowboy came in at number 2. I'm telling you, it was very literate in 1969. Like, wait till you hear what number 3 is.
I'm going to guess right now.
Yeah.
Well, you said literate. All right. I was going to say Easy Rider.
That's it.
Really?
Number 3 at the box office.
Man.
Amazing.
I got the first 3.
Yeah. So, Honor Majesties was 10. Number 9's Goodbye Columbus. Number 8 is Cactus Flower. Number 7 is the original True Grit, the lesser True Grit.
Oh, Lord.
Number 6 is the Clint Eastwood Western musical Paint Your Wagon.
Does he sing in that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I never saw that.
Number 5 is Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice.
Right.
Fine Paul Mazursky joint. Number 4, Hello, Dolly.
Of course.
And then, of course, Easy Rider, Midnight Cowboy, Butch Cassidy, and the Sundance Kid. Both of them in living color.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You have your what else? You have your top 10 list for this year?
I have a top 9.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I had a few more, but they just couldn't make my list.
All right.
I didn't run out. I just couldn't justify 10.
Give me one of those at number 10.
Oh, I threw them out.
Ah, all right.
Sorry.
All right, let's put you down for Paint Your Wagon at number 10.
That's fine.
All right.
That's fine. My
number 10 is Satyricon.
Makes sense for you.
You're so judgy.
My number 9 is not a good movie and shouldn't be on my list, but I wanted to make it 9, so I would have 9. Goodbye, Columbus.
I've never seen that. What is that? That was in the top 10 highest grossers. I'm not familiar with it.
Well, it's the first Philip Roth film adaptation ever.
Oh, I never read that book either. That's why I don't know.
It's a good book. It's Philip Roth. It was his first book. It's not my favorite book. He's my favorite author of all time, as you know. But it's not a very good movie, but it was quite a sensation here. Anyway, that's my number 9.
Is it about Christopher Columbus?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like 1492 Conquest of Paradise.
Conquest of Newark. Yes.
One of Ridley Scott's finest works.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, what a great director.
He is a fucking great director.
Oh, yeah? Have you seen All the Money in the World yet?
I was just going to say no, and I won't. So
all right.
Don't care.
My number 9 is Take the Money and Run.
Ooh, a little low for me, but all right. My number 8 is The Wild Bunch.
My number 8 is On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Okay, all right. That's my number 7.
All right, my number 7 is The Wild Bunch.
Okay. My number 6 is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
My number... You know, it didn't make my list, and I like that movie. It's a pretty good year. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
My number 6 is Zed.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Or Z, you know. As we say here, us Philistines in America.
Not the Fritz Lang Z, which is great.
No, it's Costa Gavras.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a German satire political thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Take the Money and Run.
My number 5 is Putney Swope.
Right, that came up a while
I
ago.
just rewatched it like 2 weeks ago or something.
Right.
Yeah.
My number 4, these are pretty inarguable to me. My number 4 is Midnight Cowboy.
That's my number 4.
Look at that. My number 3 is from one of my other favorite directors, Lindsay Anderson, the movie If.
Ooh, I do not have that as a 1969 film.
Really?
Are we certain about that?
I'm almost positive.
Can we Google it?
Sure.
Right.
I'll do it right now. I'm almost positive. I mean, if it ain't that, it's 68, but I'm pretty sure. Here we go, and the answer is 1968.
Oh, there we go.
God
That's why it's not on my list.
You know what? It came out December 19th, 68 in Britain, so it must have come out in the U.S. in 69.
So we'll let you have it for now.
I appreciate that. I think that's fair. So
Okay.
what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Kes.
Kes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that.
It's great.
The number 2 movie, which was my number 1 until about 3 or 4 years ago, the number 2 movie of 1969 is Easy Rider.
That's my number 2.
The number 1 movie of
I'm excited about this. What is it going to be?
I don't think you'll ever guess it.
1969.
Yes.
Is it Hello, Dolly? Is it?
You got it.
No. Is it? I don't know. What is it?
The Sorrow and the Pity.
The fucking Sorrow and the Pity.
Yep.
You've sat through the entirety of the Sorrow and the Pity.
Oh,
That's pretty impressive, Henry. I think that might almost make up for your lack of complete lists in these 60s.
Yeah, all 4 hours and something of it. I loved it.
That's crazy. Now, of course, you first heard about it in Annie Hall, I would assume.
Oh, absolutely. 25 years ago, when I was like 14 and got into Annie Hall, it was the first I ever heard of the movie. It took me a quarter of a century to finally watch it, but it was worth it. It's amazing. Amazing. I highly recommend it. You didn't see it ever? You never seen it?
I've seen bits and pieces of it just as a Woody Allen fan. Like, I figured I would check it out, but I can't sit through 4.5 hours of that.
Will, it's
Is it about O.J. Simpson?
There are some Jeep chases in it. But, I didn't see him lumber on with a bloody shoe or anything.
No, listen, do they reference Hertz at all?
Well, they're in Germany for some of it.
Oh, you're starting to sell me. All right.
Air Hertz. And what's your number 1 movie of 69?
My number 1 is the roller skating classic. They shoot horses, don't they?
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I saw that when I was a kid, and I just don't. It's Jane Fonda, right?
God, I think you're right. I can't remember
Your
now.
favorite movie?
I'm blanking.
You don't know? Wow.
Yeah, I remember the storyline. I've only seen it once. Yeah, it's Jane Fonda. She's the lady in it. And,
I assure you that Sorrow and the Pity is better than that movie. But
you can't be sure about that. Listen,
you know
it's got a great cast. It's got a young Bonnie Bedelia. It's got a young Bruce Dern. It's a great movie. I fucking love that movie. Now, like your choice, The Sorrow and the Pity, I saw They Shoot Horses, Don't They? Because it was referenced on a TV show.
Oh.
Of course, a little show I like to occasionally mention on this podcast called, that's right, The Gilmore Girls.
I knew it. Although I did kind of lean towards Dawson's Creek for a minute.
No, but it's a Sidney Pollack movie. He's made some shitty movies. This is his best one.
Yeah, he's made some good movies.
He's made some good ones. Yeah, 3 Days of the Condor is a great one.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him right now. But, listen, he made Tootsie, and I will never forgive him for that.
God, and you and me are really in a exclusive club of hatred for that movie.
It's like, to me, the most unfunny things that have ever been created are like Two Girls, One Cup, and Tootsie.
Holy 2007 reference?
Something like that, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, it's great stuff.
Sure.
Great snuff. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, like that movie, The Act of Killing and Tootsie. Those are the least funny movies.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that, but I know all about it. Yeah, I remember when you saw it, you told me about it. Yeah. It's a laugh riot.
I was disturbed. So that's our list. Henry, On Her Majesty's Secret Service was nominated for a pretty major award.
What was that?
Can I hear that Golden Globes theme?
Oh, God. Spring this shit on me. Sure, I have to make a proper recording of it and make it cleaner. You know what I mean? But I'll play you what I have.
Okay, let me hear it
right now.
I know you've been working on this since the start of the show.
I've been working on it since 10:04. Yeah, which won't mean anything to anyone. All right, here I'm gonna cue it up. It's the GGs, it's the Golden Globes, it's the foreign correspondents of Hollywood and France.
I loved that one. Henry,
Really?
that was one of your best yet.
Oh, all right. So I'll clean it up and we'll have a good version of that. That was a rough cut. Rough cut.
I can't wait to hear it again someday.
Yeah, I figured the GGs was in there.
Listen, it was nominated for an award that does not exist anymore.
Oh, wait. I think I read this. Can I guess?
Yeah.
Best new star.
That's right, George Lazenby.
And he lost to... Wait, I know this. He lost to Bruce Dern?
No, he lost to another jowly fellow named Jon Voight.
Right. God damn it. I knew it was one of them 60s, 70s icons. Okay.
Yeah. Probably for a Midnight Cowboy, I would assume.
Yeah, Bruce Dern was already like 74 in 1969.
Yeah, Bruce Dern, he wasn't collecting any awards.
You gotta get it a little bit higher with Bruce Dern.
Oh, that's a good call.
He's a little bit higher with they shoot horses, don't they?
I want to see that last movie he ever did. People say that's good.
What, is he dead?
Oh, am I thinking of someone else?
Dude, he was in the Hateful Eight.
Dude, I'm 100% thinking about Harry Dean Stanton.
Oh.
Yeah, HDS. He had a last film come out recently.
Right now. Bruce Dern was in Hateful Eight and Nebraska.
Yeah, I know. He was great in Nebraska. He was great in Hateful Eight too. Whatever.
Sure.
Honor Majesty Secret Service. Let's talk about it. They bring in this guy Lazenby. Lazenby is a model.
Yeah.
He gets this as his first acting job ever, to be James Bond, taking over for Sean Connery a mere 2 years after Sean Connery's last movie.
This can't be emphasized enough, and this did go through my head, and it did score points for the movie. Okay, you'll be happy to hear this. I mean, this is nearly impossible to do. Am I right? I mean, in cinematic history.
It's a thankless task if I ever saw one.
I mean, it's like trying to replace Christopher Reeve as Superman or Christian Bale as Batman, right?
I think Downey is a really great example. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man right now, and I really do think that if Robert Downey Jr. decides he never wants to be in a Marvel movie again, Marvel just has to kill off Iron Man.
I agree. I agree.
They have enough other characters now.
Well, you know what they'll do. They'll make Tony Stark 20 years old, and then Ty Sheridan will be him.
No, I really don't think we're going that route now. I think we'll just make, like, Don Cheadle Iron Man or something.
That's fine. That would actually be fine.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Or Gwyneth Paltrow, that'd be great too.
Well, she could be Rescue. That was that short-lived character that Iron Maiden sued them for. Hey, so Lazenby gets his first ever acting job, James Bond, and he signs. He doesn't sign. He takes a commitment, a verbal commitment from the Broccolis to be in 7 James Bond movies. Yeah. Okay?
I didn't really finish my thought there. I was hoping you'd help me finish it.
What?
I said it's a nearly impossible task to do. I didn't say, does he do it?
Well, I assume we'll talk about it.
Okay. So he does a verbal contract with the Broccolis.
For 7 movies. Halfway through filming on Her Majesty's Secret Service, there's sort of a mutual decision, this shit ain't working out. And it's not that the Broccolis aren't happy with the performance or anything. He's just like this 29-year-old douchebag prima donna.
29?
Yeah, he's 29 years old. He's the youngest guy ever to play James Bond by a lot. I mean, not by a lot. Connery was like 31 or something. Yeah, I know. And I kept thinking about that during this, too. Because it's weirdly like a more mature James Bond in this movie. He gets married in it. And
yes, he does.
It's interesting that they did that with the young James Bond actor.
Yeah, it's odd.
So Lazenby decides, also on the advice of his agent, that the 70s are starting. Bond is dead. They're not going to be making these movies much longer. He wants to be in like cool fucking Easy Rider, Midnight Cowboy type movies.
There's no future in Bond, George, so just do the one and we'll move on your career from there. You'll be into great heights.
He wants to use this as a springboard.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever. So
Is that the worst advice an agent's ever given someone?
It can't be. I'm sure there's other. there's worse out there.
I was gonna say do Gray Scott, but that wasn't an agent saying.
No, that was scheduling.
Right. I mean, if an agent saying to somebody, I'm sure there are other examples, but this is a pretty bad one.
It's a pretty bad one. And although who's to say? Like maybe if Lazenby keeps going as James Bond, the James Bond franchise does die. Like who?
That's a great point, actually.
People love Roger Moore.
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
So,
look, he leaves and doesn't have much of a career after that. You know, I read a lot of interviews with George Lazenby prepping for this episode, and it reminded me a lot of that Ricky Gervais show, Extras. Like, he literally had anecdotes about, like, going into clubs and... Like, then, once he's no longer James Bond, he'd go to the same club, and, like, they wouldn't let him in.
Oh, by the way, to clarify my earlier point about Archer, Archer is very funny. I was referring to George Lazenby's cartoon-like chin.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, you made a modern reference. I would have gotten, like, a Space Ghost reference or The Tick reference.
Right. I used to like Space Ghost. Yeah.
Sure, coast to coast.
Sure. Coast to coast. All right.
So I think they are very smart to start this movie with a scene between MQ and Moneypenny.
Okay. Wait. I'm not. I thought that started with Bond in the ocean with rescuing that woman.
Not yet, man. We take a look at MQ and Moneypenny. They're chatting like, where is Bond? We don't know. And,
right.
And because it's the original actors, it gives the movie a bit of a through line. And we're taking a lot of pains in this movie to tie it back into the Connerys. And some of them I think are cool and fun, and some of them I could do right without.
Yeah, I feel like since this is a truncated episode, I should get these thoughts in now anyway. I feel like I agree with you, but ultimately I almost feel like they should have gone full-on reboot.
I don't think so, man. There's too many plot threads to pick up on. Like, I mean,
that's right, but it's so impossible. And it was fascinating reading contemporary reviews of this, and then reflective reviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's still, for me, it's just impossible to get what happened after out of your head and what happened before. Connery is just in there. You know, it's so hard. So some of them are cool. I have a few written down that I really liked, which we'll talk about later. You too, I'm sure. But some of them, it's just bizarre. So you liked that they're acting like, hey, same guy.
I do not want a reboot. No. I've been so impressed with the continuity in the first 5 Bond movies that it'd be a shame to lose that at this point.
Right. But we also don't just lose that with Lazenby. We lose it with Who Loves You, Baby?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, Telly Savalas.
You're allowed to cough on the show. It's usually me.
Telly Savalas is playing Blofeld in this movie. And it's weird. I don't get it.
It is awful.
I don't think it's awful because I kind of like Telly Savalas as an actor. I think he's underrated. He gets pigeonholed because he's Kojak, but
he's fine. He's just it's completely miscast. It makes no sense.
Yeah,
especially if you're trying to
it's such a
establish
different
some continuity.
It's such a different energy because he's like, "Hey, I'm Blofeld over here."
My name's Ernst Blofeld.
Hey, it's Ernst Stavros Blofeld up
and
here.
if I'm French, I'm Beauchamp, Bluchamp, come on. Yeah. And
it's a little weird. I got a ski resort up here. Don't come up this mountain. This is my Alp.
The last time you saw me, I had a scar, and a cat, and I was very unimposing physically.
I will say, at least he's bald.
He is
which
bald.
is more than I can say for that fool in Diamonds Are Forever. I will also say
in that we never mentioned in last week's episode, by the way.
What?
When Blofeld was a drag queen dressed as a woman in Vegas. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Blofeld, how far your star has fallen. Yeah, but
he doesn't have the cat in this one.
Yeah, he does.
But not enough.
Well, I agree. The host. Well, I don't think the cat liked having him as a host.
I missed the cat.
Yeah, Lionel was not. I think Lionel and Telly Savalas were not getting along. Clearly, there was some tension on set.
That has to be true. I mean,
I think so. I mean,
a lot of prima donnas on Her Majesty's Secret Service set.
You got Lazenby, you got Savalas, you got Diana Rigg a little bit.
You got Lionel.
You got Lionel. Yeah.
So when we open up, Bond is like saving. What is she trying to commit suicide?
Very strange. It's never explained, and yes,
it starts out like a fucking Bergman movie with like this lady trying to drown herself in the ocean.
It's the end of Interiors.
Yeah. Yeah. And Bond saves her, and then he's got a wink like this sort of thing never happened to the other guy.
I like that actually. Yeah.
It's cute.
I remembered him saying something else, but I liked that line. Yeah, he goes, "This never happened to the other fella," because he's Australian.
How do you like Lazenby?
He's just a little bit of a blank slate for me. I went into this just remember thinking he was hopeless. That isn't really the case. It's just really he doesn't have much charisma. I think he's given a very uneven movie. But all right, just to focus on him, he's okay. I mean, I don't care that he did one movie. I don't hold that against anybody. I mean, I love Timothy Dalton, and he only did 2. So, but
you like Dalton more than Lazenby?
Fuck yes.
You're a maniac.
Way more.
You're a maniac. I feel like if you prefer Dalton to Lazenby, you probably got some dark secrets, some skeletons in your closet.
Yeah, that's what it is. I prefer Dalton to Pierce Brosnan, man.
Well, me too.
That's not a popular opinion. I mean, Dalton's the one that everyone always shits on.
No, Dalton's not bad, but like Lazenby. Listen, can I just say this right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Lazenby's the third best Bond.
That's fucking nuts. You're fucking nuts, man. I'll list them right now in order of greatness.
Me too. We going top to bottom?
Top to bottom.
Let's do it. And we can do this again once we get to the other ones down the line.
Because I want you to reevaluate.
I will, but here's where I'm at right now after watching On Her Majesty's Secret Service today.
Okay. I watched it last night. Yeah, go ahead.
Number 1. Sean Connery.
Agreed.
Shocking. Positively shocking.
Positively shocking.
Number 2. Danny Craigers.
Agreed.
Okay.
I wouldn't have said that a while ago. I'm saying it now.
I'm saying it. Number 3, even though he's only been given 1 great movie.
2 great.
I know, you say that. And most people say that.
No, yeah.
I have to watch it again. I think I was drunk when I watched it.
I think you were too.
Number 3, George Lazenby.
Number 3, Roger Moore.
Number 4, Roger Moore.
Number 4. Who's left? Who's
Dalton.
Dalton Lazenby Brosnan. Okay. Number 4, Timothy Dalton.
Number 5, Timothy Dalton.
Number 5, Pierce Brosnan.
Number 6, Leslie Nielsen in Spy Hard.
So the worst Bond for you is Timothy Dalton.
Number 7, Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Number 8.
All right.
Undercover Brother.
So who's your 6? That's Dalton?
Yeah. It's Dalton and then Brosnan, man. Because
so you have Dalton ahead of Brosnan.
I do. To me, it's like you got one tier that's Connery, Craig, and Lazenby. You've got another tier that's Roger Moore there by himself, and then you have another tier that's Dalton and Brosnan.
I like that, actually, that tiering. I disagree with it. I would say first tier is Connery and Craig. And I would say that on a completely different tier is Roger Moore. And then I think you got Dalton, Brosnan, and Lazenby all sort of in the same bracket with Dalton.
Listen, I love Lazenby. Listen, we got to get through this movie. There's a bit of a previously on Bond in the opening.
Yeah.
We get to revisit Ursula Andress and Pussy Galore.
Yeah, on some title credits with Sans song.
Yeah, what's going on there? That I'm not into.
Me neither.
You know why? It's because I mean I don't. You can tell me what you read, but I assume because a song shows up later on in the movie during sort of a falling in love montage, and I wonder it's by Louis Armstrong. By the way, the last song Louis Armstrong ever recorded. Yeah. And it's. I wonder if that was recorded for the opening credits, and then they were like, "Nah, it's such like a lovely little song." That like they held it for later in the movie.
I think that what I read was that John Barry honestly couldn't figure out. Now this is kind of silly, honestly, from a musical standpoint, but couldn't figure out how to fit the words on Her Majesty's Secret Service as a song title into a song, which is kind of dumb because you could pretty much call the song whatever you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to have those words in there, but. Yeah, he didn't write one. Barry felt it would be difficult to compose a theme song containing the title on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Sounds like laziness to me. Get off your ass, Barry.
Lazenbius. Yeah. I'm glad they didn't. I mean, that song works. I think instrumentally, it actually I thought was rather emotionally effective. I think
it's actually the best
Not
score.
when they played it 35 times.
I like it when they play it 35 times.
I don't.
I think it's a great score.
Do you really?
Yeah, one of the best.
All right, I'm going to cross out my note that I don't want to read.
What is it? We can disagree.
I know. Music is bad.
I wonder if I have a note about the music. I don't know if I do. I just remember liking it.
Yeah.
All right, so the big.
You want to run through the
The what?
Those little homages after the opening credits to the prior Bond.
Oh, there's a guy whistling the Goldfinger song at one point.
A little person. Yes.
I didn't notice that.
You didn't?
No.
He's a little person. He's a janitor, and he's a little person. Yes.
Perspective. Then there.
Or as. Or as my note said, midget whistling Goldfinger.
Very nice. There's also that thing where he quits MI6 and then he like he's rifling through his desk and he finds like little ornaments from previous cases.
And each time he picks up an ornament, it plays the theme song briefly.
In Dr. No One, it plays that little song he sings to Ursula Andress on the beach.
That's right. And then From Russia with Love plays that tune, and then Goldfinger or not, and then Thunderball plays the Tom Jones song. So that was a nice little touch.
I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
Here's what I like about Lazenby, because pretty soon after the opening, we get this big hotel fight. where he's like going to meet someone in her bedroom, and like a dude is there waiting for him, and he like smacks Bond on the head, and then Bond grabs a chair and smacks him over the face with the chair, and then the guy falls back and falls through a table. It's like a fucking wrestling match, and like I think Lazenby looks like he could kick some ass.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's where we're definitely going to diverge, because Lazenby not only does not have any sort of kind of emotional heft at all like a Daniel Craig, he doesn't have like a physicality, I thought, or like a steeliness of like a Timothy Dalton.
I think he's the second grittiest Bond.
I disagree. I don't think he's as, I mean, he's... I guess he's grittier than Roger Moore and Brosnan, but he's not grittier than Connery or Craig.
He's got a subtlety, man. He brings you in. He plays shit small, and I think it's intentional. Look, I know Lazenby's not like the greatest actor ever, but like I think he's a really good Bond. Like he halfway through this movie, I'm not thinking about Sean Connery.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, the story of On Her Majesty's Secret Service is he meets Diana Rigg from the fucking Avengers, the original Avengers.
Yeah.
You know, or I guess not the original Avengers.
Oh, no?
Well, I mean, like, what, Stan Lee created that shit in like 63 or 4, right? I don't know.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Nice pull. And the second Avengers actress to enter this franchise, right? Honor Blackman was on the Avengers as well.
The Avengers and the Saint were like the big spy shows at the time, especially in England.
Roger Moore.
What?
Roger Moore was in the Saint.
Yeah, that's right.
That was Roger.
So Diana Rigg's character, of course, later so memorably played by Uma Thurman in the classic Avengers movie. She's in this, and she's sort of like this weird suicidal countess. And
yeah, I liked her character, actually.
I loved her character. She's one of the best Bond girls.
Agreed.
And she's also a genuinely good actress. So,
yes,
like,
she is.
You know, they've had some fucking scrubs in these movies that are just there to look good.
Dan's looking at you, Lana Wood.
Yeah, and you, Daniela Bianchi.
Aw.
Listen.
And you, 10 other...
Listen, Christmas Jones. So, her dad is into Bond. Thinks Bond's a great guy. And so he's like, marry my daughter. And Bond's like, hold your fucking jets.
Right.
I like your daughter. She seems cool. But like,
and I've already fucked her.
I have already fucked her. And he's like, that's all right, right? And the dad's like, of course.
Yeah, fine.
They literally talk about it.
They do.
The dad says, remember he has that whole monologue, what she needs is a man who will dominate her, who will destroy her sexually. And I'm that's your daughter.
Yeah.
So he wants Bond to pull that big old dick out and fucking wreck her with it. And Bond is down.
Syphilitic Walter PPK.
Yeah. He's been ruined by Trench forever. So,
is she the one who gave him?
I think so. I think it was Trench.
That would be a great pop quiz.
Yeah.
Which Bond girl gave him the? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Trench. So
you think it's the first one?
Wow. Right away. Every successive Bond girl he's given it to. By the way, what's the shag count in this movie?
Oh, is it time for that?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I got to pull it up. So say a few words.
Well, so the dad. Well, just fucking do it.
Okay.
James Bond, shag count.
3.
3, right. So it's Rigg and 2 of the Angels of Death, right?
Right, which I found very disturbing and weird, and another problem with the movie.
That's a problem for me too, because this movie's supposed to be a love story between Bond and Diana Rigg, and he's flat out lying to those women about who he is, which is a little bit icky, and they're like not bad women. Like they're
brainwashed.
Yeah, they're brainwashed like mental patients.
Yeah, so and he takes it full advantage.
Yeah, he bones the hell out of two of them.
It's such a weird movie, man. It's like, I guess I'm just looking at some of my notes here to try to encapsulate, as we go along. But it's a weird idea for a Bond movie. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad one, because they go for me, the truly really emotional Bond of all of them that pulls it off well is Skyfall. And I feel like this could have been like, a 1969 type of version of Skyfall.
This is better than Skyfall.
It is in no way, shape, or form better than Skyfall. Completely disagree. But that aside, I feel like if they would have stuck to that idea of it being a love story and just gone full throttle all in on it, then it would have worked. But it's just got too many weird things where they're trying to have him. I think
that's what I like about it. Like I want really Bond to have weird things. But he is James Bond, though. He feels like James Bond to me.
Yeah.
Listen, so he makes a deal with this dad, Draco, and Draco knows where Blofeld is, and Bond says, "I'll keep dating your daughter if you tell me where Blofeld is." It's like a win-win, really. And so he does. He keeps dating Diana Rigg. We get this long montage of them falling in love, set to a Louis Armstrong song. No, it's really good. Yeah.
Again, a part I thought I was not going to like, but I liked it.
It's great. And then Bond heads over there to pretend to be like a family genealogy expert.
Yes,
yeah,
a genealogist.
So he goes over. He plays the part of genealogist Hilly, who is going to tell Blofeld where his family comes from.
Right.
And we have a lot of fun with that. I really like this character. Did you catch what Bond's family crest says?
The world is not enough.
How about that? Who knew that that's a reference to On Her Majesty's Secret Service?
That was pretty cool. I had no idea. I had no idea.
At one point, Bond cracks a safe, and while he's waiting for it to open, he checks out a Playboy.
Weird sequence.
And then he leaves with the Playboy.
Not only does he check it out, he's like walking through the hallways.
Like looking at the centerfold, yeah.
Yeah, very strange.
I'm into it. So he gets to Blofeld's mountain retreat.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a kilt. I couldn't believe James Bond is wearing a kilt for so much of this movie. I mean, I just picture Sean Connery sitting at home watching this going now?
I just took it right out of my mouth. Yep. Now they put the fucking kilt on.
I know.
I did 5 movies of these fucking things, and then they put the kilt on an Australian.
Yeah.
Fucking bollocks is what it is. Fucking bollocks.
So he gets to meet the. You sound more like a Train Spotting guy, but I'll allow it.
There is no way for me now to not sound like a Train Spotting when I do a Scottish. I had. You're right. I had Begbie in my head there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Plus, I was trying to think of.
You're doing the villain from The World Is Not Enough.
Yeah, and also, right. And also, Lazenby's weird because I read that. I didn't know. I'm glad I didn't know this when I was watching it. Did you know that the entire time he's doing that Hilly character, they overdubbed his voice?
I didn't, but I noticed his voice was different. I thought he was doing a voice.
Yeah, I was when I watched the movie, I was all impressed. I was like, oh, wow, he's doing a foppish British guy. He's not.
It worked pretty well, though. It looks good.
They did a good dub job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than From Russia with Love.
I was just going to say
that. So he meets the Angels of Death in this kilt, and they're all over him. There's one from 12 different countries or something. Yeah. One of them writes her room number on his inner thigh using lipstick. which is an amazing scene. And
it was a weird scene because I actually thought she was going to write like "help us" or something.
No.
Like that. Yeah.
She just wants to bone him. And then, like, their, like, head mistress is like, are you okay, Bond? And he's like, a little stiff. I'm talking about my dick over here.
That dinner scene was way too long, dude.
Well, there's a lot that's way too long. This movie, weirdly, could have used an editor, and it's directed by one.
Yeah, that might have been the problem.
It drags. Yeah. So he goes and meets up with that girl. He drops his kilt.
Yeah.
Did you notice boob nudity?
I couldn't tell. I know what you're talking about.
There's nipple.
The short-haired British girl?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was just,
I couldn't believe what I was looking at.
Yeah.
Then he meets Blofeld, and Blofeld sees him as Hilly. So we're like doing a weird thing because in the book, we're being so faithful to the book.
Right.
In the book, like, Bond and Blofeld hadn't met yet, but in the movies, Bond and Blofeld fucking met.
Mistake. Yeah, that's a mistake. They shouldn't have done that. They should have just written a scene where they already knew who each other. I don't know.
We're taking such great pains not to reboot this series. Like, it's so
clearly
well,
that's my point.
A follow-up movie, and so, like, we have to have that continuity.
See, I thought that would bother you because
it does bother me. I'm saying that.
Right. Yeah. Because like you were more into the continuity than I ever was. I always tended to look at these as independent movies.
Me too. I'm more into the continuity than I ever was. Like I just never really thought about it because I never watched them in order. But it's kind of fun to watch them in order.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So that was really bizarre. I mean, you sort of get over it after your initial. I did. After my initial disbelief, but it just seemed like a weird choice. But then again, if they didn't do that, the whole plot would be null and void, right? Because it depends so much on them interacting with each other. So,
right, but Blofeld has to find him out, and of course, when Blofeld does, Bond escapes. There's a ski chase that goes on forever, and then there's a great bobsled race between Blofeld and Bond. That is great.
My favorite action shot in the movie, I actually made a note of it. It's too short. I mean, it's one of those shots they actually show. I remember used to watch, probably where the majority of my Bond viewing came from, like a lot of people, I think, on those TBS marathons, they would always show
30 Days of Bond.
Yeah. I was always in, and they would always show this shot from the movie where Bond is like diving down like an ice slope with a machine gun on his stomach.
Yeah.
And
that is awesome.
Badass.
It's sort of like he's doing a slip and slide.
Yeah. It's really cool, but like it's gone before it starts. It's like, that could have been. I mean, I'm not saying they should have made it one of those long, extended, ridiculous shots.
There are a few of those though. How about when he kicks the guy off the cliff, and we get to see him fall in real time,
the entire way.
Yeah.
Yes. Good dummy. Props to that dummy.
Great dummy.
Not my MVP, but a good dummy.
Peter Hunt, by the way, went on to direct a few Charles Bronsons.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. There's all those movies that are like basically Death Wish movies, but they're not. Yeah, he directed a couple of those in the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah. Peter R. Hunt. So he gets away from Blofeld. He asks fucking Diana Rigg to marry him. She says yes. It's a beautiful sequence in that barn.
It's nice. Yeah.
I think it's great. I think Rigg and Lazenby are on point. Rigg and Lazenby supposedly did not get along on the set of the movie, and I think it helped their performances.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they have chemistry.
They do have chemistry, and she's greatly the reason for that, though. I mean, she's working with kind of a cardboard guy here, in my opinion, and she does it. She does it well.
So they get married.
Yeah.
We see their wedding. How about the moment between Bond and Moneypenny?
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the thing. I have been very critical of the Bond Moneypenny relationship.
Right, we've talked about it.
I thought that they should just get it together and be together. And you think that, Moneypenny doesn't shit where she eats.
Essentially, yeah. It's like a far from a love unrequited, but really more of a admiration type of thing. Whatever. Yeah, I've said it in previous shows. Right. Correct. Yeah.
So Bond, he has a conversation with Moneypenny earlier in the movie. He walks into the office. He throws the hat on the thing, which he's way better at than Sean Connery.
Fuck out of here.
He is. He gives Moneypenny a clear invitation to come over.
He does.
And Moneypenny turns him down. So,
I told you.
So I'm like, Henry's right. But then, at the wedding, Moneypenny is crying like not happy tears.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true, but I don't think they're not like jealous tears.
They are jealous tears. They're tears
know.
of he's the one that got away.
That could be true, but I still think it holds up what I said. She's such a lovely person. I don't think it. I found it moving, to be honest.
Me too. I thought it was a really great use of the history that we have with these characters now.
Well, I agree. So, but what would underscore my point is that I think if it was what you were thinking, or I don't know if you still think, or what, if she really, really wanted him, I think we as an audience, we would be mad or upset, and in one of those moments that you have all the time in movies, like, well, these two characters should be together, but you don't have that.
I felt
Diana Rigg is the right one.
I agree, but I also felt a little bittersweet, there's
It's a good word for it. It's a good word.
Shows where two characters get together and two other characters had a relationship earlier in the show, they just couldn't get it together, but I'm still happy that they found this person.
Yeah, well, okay.
And I think it's a little sad. I was getting on your side with the Moneypenny situation, and I'm back. So they drive away in this car with flowers and cans and shit away from the wedding. And then they get a little bit down the road, and they're like, well, let's take the flowers and cans off,
Right.
So they do. Bond gets out of the car. Blofeld and his henchman lady drive by, shoot at Bond's car. Fucking his lady, Diana Rigg, they just got married. She's dead.
Yeah.
And then Bond cradles her in his arms and refuses to believe that she's dead.
Yeah, he loses his shit for a minute.
He says she's just taking a rest.
Right.
Oh my God.
It's rough. It got me.
It's a fucking rough way to end this movie, and it's a downer ending. This is like an Empire fucking Strikes Back ending.
It is.
Which makes me all the more furious. I'm telling you, if I watched Diamonds Are Forever after watching On Her Majesty's Secret Service, I'd be down a grade. Because this is fucking bullshit. So after all this, he falls in love with Diana Rigg. They are in love. They get married. She is murdered. Bond is traumatized. What, you're telling me a couple months later he's just boning down with Plenty O'Toole?
He's in severe,
get out of here.
Emotional repression mode there. Yeah.
It's a bummer.
I will tell you right now, there are going to be in the future 1 or 2 more references to Teresa Bond.
There fucking should be. It's the best romance he's ever had.
Yeah, well, there are. So, and they're pretty good, as I recall, and I'm not going to spoil anything. But I'll be real interested.
Well, we're saying goodbye to Bond right now. We got to wrap up this bonus app. What do you give this movie?
I'm going to give this movie 3 stars.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not It's not a bad movie. I disagree with Steven Soderbergh, Christopher Nolan, and you in that it's so amazing on so many different levels. I think it's got a lot of weak parts. It's too long, and Lazenby just doesn't do it for me. But it's in the canon. It deserves to be watched.
Mm.
And there's enough in there that's cool. But personally, I don't know how many times I would go back to this. It's certainly better than Diamonds Are Forever, which I would have never said ever before last week.
Okay. Well, it's obviously better than that.
Well, yeah. And it's not better than Thunderball.
Henry?
Yeah.
5 stars.
I know. I figured. So no opinion change on this movie for you at all?
No opinion change. It drags. I used to think this was like a perfect movie, and it's patently not. Like Casino Royale is like way better. But
yeah.
But I think it's a great movie, and chop 20 minutes off this movie, and I'll watch this over and over again.
And it's your second. You still like it better than any Connery.
Yeah,
Bond.
it's number 1 on my rankings as of right now for the ones we've watched for the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where does it fit in for you? Second to last?
Yes.
Okay. You put it below Thunderball, which is fucking insane, but ahead of Diamonds Are Forever.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, big time. Yeah.
What's your MVP?
Oh, that was easy. That's a real strong opinion on this MVP is Diana Rigg.
I feel the same way, but I mean, I'm close to giving it to Lazenby, but Diana Rigg really does the job in this fucking movie. She's a different kind of Bond girl. Like, you want to know more about her, and you learn about her. Like, she's intriguing, she's charismatic, like, there are genuinely good like conversational sequences between the two of them. They have chemistry. It's a good performance.
I agree.
Yeah.
So you're with me on that?
Rigg.
Right. My LVP by a fucking mile-high stadium is Telly Savalas.
I know. I'm gonna go Telly also. Honestly, if you put Donald Pleasance in this exact movie.
Yeah.
That shit's amazing.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that would have improved it vastly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bummer.
I do have a superhero count.
Let me hear it.
George Lazenby.
Some voice work, right?
Voice work in Batman Beyond.
Yeah, he's a villain
named King.
Mm-hmm.
And in live action 1988 TV show Superboy. He played Jor-El.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a good pull.
Thank you. I got another one. It's a weird one, but I thought you would appreciate this. I put
Lazenby, Brando, it's one of the... What's the difference, really?
Russell Crowe.
Sure.
Brando.
Lazenby.
Yeah, the Jor-Els. All the great Jor-Els. The second one is a special one. Telly Savalas is not in anything.
Kojak's kind of a superhero.
Yeah, but I thought it should be noted because what they did, I didn't know this. They did kind of what you told me all about Sam Jackson and the Nick Fury scenario. The DC animated universe based their Lex Luthor on Telly Savalas' appearance.
That's crazy. He doesn't do the voice, does he?
No.
Yeah.
But they just stole his likeness. And,
how'd you pull that?
I clicked on Telly Savalas' name, man, and just read all about him and was able to. It took a long time.
That's sort of fascinating.
Yeah, that's why I wrote it down. I figured it should count for something. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of bald guys out there, and they chose him. So. Who
Loves You, Baby? Not us, but you're all right. You remember when they remade Kojak?
Oh yeah, who was in that?
I want to say Ving Rhames. Am I being racist?
I think you're right.
Yeah, it ran like 6 episodes or something.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah, Ving Rhames. I'm right. Way back in 2005, they made 9 episodes of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, it had Stamper from House of Cards. He was in there.
Oh, that's a good actor.
Yeah, and the captain was Chaz Palminteri. A rare non-Bronx Tale appearance or something.
Right. Jesus Christ.
Can you stop adapting that to every fucking medium of art there is?
I'm Chaz Palminteri.
Yeah.
Come see me in New York. I'm out here all the time, every night, through the door. Come and sit next to me in the front row. That's not an exaggeration. That's the fucking ad that they have on television.
Check it out. Bronx Tale, the musical. When you're out in the lobby, you could buy Bronx Tale, the role-playing game. You could buy Bronx Tale, the cards. You could buy the Pogs, Bronx Tale. Don't worry about it.
Everything that I can do to make sure that Italian Americans never break the stereotype that they've been in for hundreds of years.
You hear me, Colosio? Colosio. You gonna open the car door for that girl?
Oh, wow.
Get out of there.
Good. You just pull that line from the movie?
Well, I don't know if it's a line, but it's something that happens.
He said something about a car door.
There's nothing wrong with being a bus driver. All right?
Yeah. Look at you.
I like that movie.
I love that movie. It's a great movie.
Listen, I'll talk shit about Chaz Palminteri all day long, but it's a good movie.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be adapted into fucking, Greek tragedy plays and Broadway.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Fucking ridiculous. Bronx Tale, the choose-your-own-adventure novel. Buy it here. Buy the comic book adaptation. Hey. Go to Bronx Tale, the restaurant. You get yourself a Colosio burger. Hey.
Go to Bronx Tale, the pizza joint. If you want, you can get whacked for another
Head on
$10.
up to the Bronx. Take the Bronx Tale bus tour. Where you drive, Robert De Niro drives the bus. He'll take you to all the classic locations from a Bronx Tale.
Hey, Henry, I saw you on the 1 train. Sit next to me, buddy. Sit next to me. We'll go to your house in the Bronx. I'm coming over for dinner. Chaz, I don't really... I'll be there. I'll be there before you. I got a key.
Yeah, make sure you call me before you come on your special Bronx Tale cell phone case. Yeah.